Hey guys, I did my intercultural speech on the Mexican heritage, and I interviewed one of my close friends, Christina Guerrero. And the United States is one of the luckiest nations in the world. Our country has many variations of cultures and is extremely diversified. And there are people from all over our country from all over the globe that come to our country that are in hopes of becoming citizens. And I think that we are blessed to be surrounded by so many people with different cultures and traditions from coast to coast. And the only downfall seems to be the stereotypes that are attached to each culture. And I feel that these stereotypes could be eliminated if people just simply took the time to understand and learn from our differences. Through this process, I was able to learn about a different culture and gain a better understanding of someone's perspective, as well as experience their traditions and customs and values. To begin my journey of learning a different culture, I interviewed, as I said before, Christina Guerrero. Although Christina was born and raised in Texas and is very much an American citizen, she still feels deeply about her family and a connection to her Mexican heritage. Her family's journey to the United States began with her grandfather, who migrated here with his parents when he was about 7 or 8. And he was raised in Mission, Texas, and married her grandmother at age 17. And together they had 14 children, with Christina's father being the oldest child. And her grandfather became a farmer to support the family, and later went into the oil fields and then retired with the Chevron gas stations. And Christina grew up in Snyder, Texas. At age 12, she moved to Whitesboro, Texas, where she has remained for all these years. And she attended Texas public school and began working right out of high school. And she didn't really have any issues in public school, such as language barriers and etc. Her parents spoke perfect English, as well as their native language. Growing up, they mainly used Spanish in their household, but in public, all of the effectively communicate in both languages, but they would usually speak English in public. They wanted their children to be proud of their heritage, so they did a lot of Spanish things, just as any Spanish family would do. Christina has two brothers and a sister, and her father passed away about 4 years ago, but her mother is still alive and very much a part of her life. Family is very important to Christina. She stated that they have gatherings often and celebrate Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and Easter, and all of the other American holidays that we all celebrate. She and her husband, Steven, have been married for about 12 years now, and they have one daughter named Chelsea. Christina works as a regional manager in the healthcare industry, while Steven works in the oil industry. And she stated that her family is very proud to be American, and they refuse to be called Hispanic Americans because they feel that this is a label versus a cultural identification. She said that she doesn't need a label to determine her heritage. Due to her cultural background, she enjoys a wide variety of music. Like any other culture, Mexico has rock, pop, hip-hop, and more so the same genres as Americans enjoy. And the only difference is that it's recorded in their native language. And Shakira and Ricky Martin are both very, very popular in Mexico, as well as the United States, but they're very popular over there. And however, mostly traditional music is played throughout Mexico to attract people to the streets. Her own father played the accordion and taught all of his 14 children, but she wasn't very interested in learning that, just because she was more into sports and other things that teenagers like to do. Christina also believes that Texas is deeply embedded in Mexican culture because of the fact that Mexico borders Texas. The two cultures have blended in many ways because of this reason. And Christina stated that the biggest difference between Americans and Mexicans was that there is a huge economical divide in Mexico. In Mexico, you are either poor or wealthy, and there isn't much of a middle class, which is the main type of people that we have here in the United States. And this is very evident with the way that people live and through the social divide. She believes that the main reason people want to move to the United States from Mexico is that so that they can make money and not have to pay as much back to the government, and through hard work they can escape the poverty that they were born into their native country. And the United States truly is the land of opportunity in their eyes. And when she visits her family who lives in Mexico, she said that the language barrier is often a challenge. Even though she speaks Spanish to her, they speak very quickly and have a different dialect than she was taught as a child. And she also stated that in schools, she took a Spanish class and was insulted on occasion by teachers who felt that because she was Mexican that she'd already, know Spanish. She said that the problem is that in high school especially, they teach Spain types of the Mexican language, and it's not the same. I mean, they have many differences, and the Spanish spoken in Mexico is very different. So, and cultural elements are not only based on how one is raised, the language spoken, or the religious upbringing, but is also embedded in music. She believes that the biggest cultural difference that she noticed in the level of respect that Mexican people show to their elders. They are very family-oriented as a whole and seem to place more value on their elders. For instance, when it comes time for an older adult to go into a nursing home, they won't allow it. They take them into their family and let them live in their house. They don't believe in putting them away in nursing homes like many Americans do. She said that she sees a lot in line work in the line of work she is in, because she goes to different nursing homes and everything like that. Cooking is a very important element within her culture. Recipes are passed down from generation to generation, with usually the mothers or grandmothers teaching their children how to make it. And I actually tried a lot of her food, and my favorite was probably the salsa and stuff that she makes, because it's just so good. She makes her homemade tortillas, and she makes homemade barbecue sauce as well, which I thought that was pretty cool. It's so good though. And it's more Tex-Mex than, Mexican, because she's from Texas. And, learning a new culture can be enlightening as well as fun. Christina shared a game of Mexican bingo with me after we chatted, and it's similar to our bingo, but instead of numbers, there were pictures. And to play on a square, and you had to be able to pronounce the Spanish word for the picture. And she learned this game from her grandparents, as it was a way to help them with their native language fresh to teach the children. And these types of activities would be a great way to incorporate a lesson on diversity. In conclusion, learning a new culture, it's a great way to broaden your understanding of others and embrace the diversity of it. And if we open our minds to cultural differences and different cultures and everything, that we will perceive them to be different. We may discover that we are actually very similar, which is what I discovered. So I hope you guys enjoyed my speech.